Hi everyone, welcome. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you on Tuesday, July 30th, 2024 for a fun little card reading today, and it's all about the whale today. The theme is very big time whale energy. I have been really feeling them strongly over the past several days. Ironically, not so much today when I could do this reading, but I still wanted to make them the focus because for whatever reason they've come up strong. We even have a little one here in the corner. So I'm going to jump right into it. We're going to have a single card each for each group of 3 groups. Like I always say, you can pick 1, 2, or all 3 groups if you're feeling it. We're also going to have some bonus cards, which I have in the back row there that we'll get to also. So I think it's going to be pretty simple messages this time around, but maybe this is something that you need to hear in this moment. So I'll talk about the crystals first. We have Orca agate sitting here in the back. Beautiful Orca agate. Comes from Madagascar, and I think you can see why they call it that. It very much looks like an orca, or as some call it, a killer whale. I prefer orca. Then we have some girasol or girasol, and I think rose quartz there, and we have selenite and the selenite wand. Now, when we go to the card selection, which we'll go over there, we got groups 1, 2, and 3. Group 1 is on here on the left, group 2 in the middle, group 3 is on the right. So you also can select by these beautiful little whale tails. This one, let's see if I can move it a little bit so you can see the flecks. This one's pretty, it has sparkles, and this is actually blue goldstone. So you can choose the blue goldstone whale tail. This one is bone. A whale tail actually came from Hawaii. Somebody gave it to me, so that's that one. And then group 3, we have a ceramic little porcelain humpback whale. Okay, so make your selection, and then we'll get right into it. All right, so we'll go to group 1, and we'll just flip the card over. Give me a minute. Okay, and here we go. So we've got a moonlit scene, and this is actually coming from the Mermaid tarot deck. So we've got this mermaid. She's got the power in her hands, beautiful kind of emerald tone, glowing jewel. The wind is blowing, whipping around her, and this is number 11, the High Priestess. It actually looks like a 2 if that means more to somebody. If it is 11, it also can be taken down to a 2 for numerology. All right, so we've got this scene. We've got blues and greens. Greens can be considered an area of the heart chakra, blue communication. She's got, looks like, the land, the sea, the wind, everything at her command. Even her garb, her cloak or whatever is flowing around in a magical way. And this whole scene just looks very magical, that she's got literally the power in her hands. That's not somebody who's given their power away. So the first message up is keep your power. Don't give your power away. And that includes your emotions. So if something comes up in your everyday life and you see that it's triggering you or taking you off center, remember to pull your power back into your core, and don't let the outside circumstances run you. You from your core and your strength inside create the world around you. All right. She's got a table full of different little tools. Looks like a nautilus shell, a piece of seaweed perhaps, a few other things. This is somebody who can be very resourceful. So again, if you feel like your outside world is whipping around you and trying to create chaos, it's up to you to anchor in and center back down in and go, okay, I'm not going to let the illusion of the outside world run me. I come back into my own power. I breathe easy. And I know all these tools and things at my disposal in my world around me, my immediate world around me, to create a better way forward in a way that's more palatable to me, right? So it's just about coming back in, remembering that you have so many gifts and talents and powers, so to speak, to bring things back in and kind of guide things the way you want to see the ship steered, not letting somebody else steer the ship into chaos. And that includes prayer, includes meditation, tools, come in all shapes and sizes and different forms. It could be also, if you have an animal or a pet, call them into your side and just pet them. If you feel like you need to be grounded in, she's crafting these things on a pillar like a stone. That's just a reminder of anchoring into the ground, getting into nature if you find yourself in some of these moments where the outside world is creeping in, trying to create chaos, and you just need that reminder to get centered and, pull it all back in, pull it together, and then play with it even, and command it. She looks very much in command of the seas and the earth and even the moon and the stars in this moment. And that's the power we all have if we choose to honor it, bring it in, and not give it away. Okay, I think I'm going to do the bonus cards at the very, very end. So I'm going to leave it right here for a moment. Oh, also looking at the whale tail, your card is appropriate because we've got these little sparkles and things going on within it. And I'm just going to read a tiny little excerpt of what they say about this crystal. I'm going to read it off camera though. Hang on one second. So it says that the blue goldstone is known to bring luck and wisdom. So that would line up very much with the wisdom part of the priestess here. And it says it's known as a lucky gemstone, great for stabilizing emotions and for giving energy. Bring life, let's see, hold on one second. Being the gemstone of wisdom, it helps us remember the light within the darkness, showing us to reach for the stars. And there's a little more to it about alchemists using it and trying to get to gold, and then they came up with this, but that very much goes along with your card, that message, luck of that green stone, that lucky green stone, wisdom of the high priestess, and remembering, remembering the light within the darkness, absolutely, and reaching for the stars. So that is your little message for group 1. And again, if you want to join me at the end, I'll pull your bonus card then, your bonus cards then. Okay, now we're going to move to group 2. Group 2, here we go. We have the whale tail made of bone. And let me flip your card. And as I mentioned in group 1, you do have bonus cards, but I'm going to read them at the very end for each group. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's see what card you have. And this one looks like a woman holding a book with a root and little scales on the legs instead of chainmail, and it's Knight of Pentacles. So here we have this Knight of Pentacles, looks like a woman in this case, clearly still connected to the water with her flowing cape, is reminiscent of the water. She still has the scales where there would be a mermaid tail, because this is coming from the Mermaid Tarot deck. And even the armor, the little armor plate, chest plate, looks like it has a little bit of fish scale detailing. So she's still very connected to the water, even though here it looks like she has stepped onto land. And she's got the root, to do some writing. It looks like she's taking notes and observing what's going on ahead of her and around her. She's got the support, though, literal support, leaning, behind her with that tree. So we look at water as representation of emotions, and it looks like she's kind of stepping and leaving the emotions behind for a moment. Sure, they're always a part of her. They're part of all of us. But she's kind of putting it to the side so she can step out and observe objectively the world around her. And she's got the root in her hand. She doesn't have a shell and like seaweed. She's got a root and paper, coming from the tree to anchor her into the real, quote-unquote, real world, or the earth world, or a different reality than the one that surely she's accustomed to in the water. I like how her shield, her little, I don't know what this disc is, but clearly it's like an abstraction of a starfish or a sea star. So she's very much in touch with her feelings. However, she looks like she's kind of needing to compartmentalize them and put them off to the side, literally, and just ground down in maybe a territory she's not quite used to. So whatever situation might be going on in your world, it might be that you feel a little bit like a fish out of water, quite literally. And that would be a time just to kind of observe the scene. There's no need for any hasty action of whatever's going on. She's taken her time. She even has time to take notes the old-fashioned way and slowly with a root, the end of a root, to kind of scribe that in. So you might be in a bit of a slower pace. This is a time just to kind of observe things. Know that there's a greater, looks like a tree of life, a greater tree spirit, something, nature has your back. Obviously, as always, make sure you are, grounding in or in touch with nature of some form, whether it's aquatic or more land-based or air-based, and just taking the scenery. So It's kind of like also maybe a little message of you can take the scenic route on whatever's going on. You don't have to beeline and highway express it. Nothing's going to come crashing down within the time that you just stop, take a breath, and observe your surroundings. It is a Knight of Pentacles, so that shows, this is the little pentacle, the little thing that I said looks like an abstracted starfish. It's like a jumbo pentacle. That's a big-ass pentacle, pardon my French. But that's huge. So definitely, if you're, looking for, you need other sources of income, or, you feel like luck, you need a little bit of luck with that, you've got it. It's right there at your side, literally. And more will come in, but no need to be hasty. Take a breath. Remember, you got a bigger force that's got your back. And then take some notes, observe, and then you will know when to take action and when to pause. And it just looks like right now is the time to pause. So that's all I'm getting for right now. And we will, like I said, we'll visit the bonus cards at the end. All right, group 2, thanks. So now we're on to group 3. Group 3, you have this ceramic little humpback whale pendant, little friendly whale, good energies there. And let's flip over your card. And like I mentioned with the other groups, we're going to do your bonus card at the end. Actually, bonus cards, plural. And then this is coming from the Mermaid Tarot deck. So, all right, so let's see what we have here. You have, looks like this woman, and she's gathering lotus flowers, looks like. She's got a protective arch. Looks like whatever swamp grasses are around her are kind of embracing her a little bit, protecting her from above. There's these giant lily pads and these little fairies of different types, and they're helping her. She has assistance. We've got one that looks very amphibious. The one in the foreground is like a frog elf mermaid creation, I should say. And then another one with butterfly wings, another little fairy type who looks like she's got feathers, bird feathers in her dress. So we really have a full integration here of the water and the air and even the ground, because the frog, is on both, and so is this presumed human here. I think that's a human back there. So anyway, the big message here is it's 3 of Pentacles. But I don't want to really focus on the tarot side of it so much as just looking at the imagery and the symbolism. So we have a person, and we'll just say metaphorically, that can be you. Or see, I should actually not say that. Let me be quiet a moment. I'm going to pan over the card and see who you identify most with in this scene before I speak. Okay. So perhaps you did identify with one of the little fairies or elf fairies, or you identified with the woman here. So I'll just go with what I'm getting is overall. We'll just say that you or us, we're the woman in the scene. So the scene here, she's got more than enough resources to choose from. She knows how to go and get the resources, and she's not alone in getting those resources. So this might be a little cue if it's not something you haven't really, or you're toying with it, or you're not sure about something. This is a cue to go get a helping hand, and here she's even got 2. And since the one little fairy with like the butterfly wings has the same colors of the dress, it looks like this person might be really close to her. Maybe you have a friend that's a little bit closer, or a neighbor who is always there offering help and is at your side if you need it, but maybe you don't always say yes. Well, in this scene, it's like time to say yes. So you have somebody kind of help you out in whatever ways they can. Maybe it's just even moral support, a little like way to go, or, maybe they even literally bring you something. She's got the little fairy has a bowl. Maybe she brings little treats now and then to lift up your day, and you do the same for her. And again, it can be her, him, whatever. But in this case, it's she's. So, maybe you help each other out once in a while. And if it's something you're not accustomed to, you might have to even go out another little circle further and ask for even more help, or your other, friend, you maybe know a friend to pull in, because maybe whatever you're looking at or working on just needs that little extra boost to finish off, and maybe you just can't bring it, or even if you can, maybe, like they say, many hands makes light work, and why really push it if you don't need to? Now, if you already feel like, no, I don't need a helping hand, this card is really not for me, it's just a reminder that, a lot of people can't see fairies, maybe just a little reminder that unseen forces are working on your behalf and working behind the scenes for you to bring you extra blessings. And you have extra support. You know, these lily pads in real life, I forget which ones, I forget the name of them now. There's just these giant lotus pads or lily pads, and they have an extremely strong root system that goes under, you know, goes down into the mud, and it can even support the weight of a person, I think up to like 100, 150 pounds. So literally, some people could sit on some of these giant lily pads. And so it's just a reminder too that there's lots of support literally around you and also behind the scenes. Okay? All right, that's going to be it for now, and I'm going to move on to the bonus cards for each group. So if you want, you can hang in there, stick around and listen to all of them, or just go to the timestamps when I post them and just jump to your group. Okay, thanks. All right, now we are back to group one. In group one, we're going to look at your bonus cards. So I'm going to pull them down. Give me a moment and set it up. So you had the High Priestess, and then we're going to go with the first bonus card, because there's two different decks. And this one, we're going to have a look, and we have a wheel, and we have all different kinds of weather, from sunny to cloudy and rainy, windy, you name it, rainbows. And then we have some, looks like some house plants. And the message here is moods. So we did talk about with your High Priestess card earlier that, you bring it all back in to your power. Don't give your power away, so that you can control, and not in a negative way, but that you can, work your world and move it in a direction where you want to see it go, not letting outside circumstances run you. Keep your power. Here it's just talking about moods. So I guess it's just a reminder that we can control our moods. And sometimes we can't so much. Sometimes outside forces, things come in, take us off center, trigger us. But then after you feel that initial hit of whatever that is, yeah, we always have control over our own body if we want to, if we don't want to give it away. We just take a deep breath, identify whether what's kind of taking you off center is yours to even deal with in the first place. Could be you're feeling energies coming in from somebody else. So identify if it is, oh no, it's something from me, I'm in my feels and I'm going back to childhood wounds or whatever, that's one thing. But make sure you can discern and identify if you're getting hit with somebody else's bad mood, somebody came into the room, or you went to a grocery store and didn't realize you picked up someone else's negativity, or you're just sitting at home and all of a sudden feel sad. That could be a global energy hitting you if you're more in touch with that world, in the spirit world and whatever else. So anyway, first identify, where is it coming from? Is it even mine? Feel it, cry it out if it's something sad, but then let it go, let it blow through you, like over here. I'm not going to be able to show you. Hang on, where's my finger? Here. Blow through, like the wind. There's a little wind symbol there. Okay, it's not focusing, but you know what I mean. So yes, we are human, so we're going to experience any number of emotions, from sunny to cloudy, everything in between. And the message here is just don't stay in any one of those things too long. This earth is about bringing a balance, and so yes, we want sunshiny times, rainbow-filled times, but we never stay in one state forever. There's usually kind of a balance and an oscillation amongst all of the things, right? And I think here at the bottom it's just showing that no matter what moods we might be in, always anchor in and ground into nature, so none of them, overtakes us, that we always maintain our power and move along. And I don't know, it is an aquatic type deck with the Mermaid Tarot, and the message, as we've heard many times before in other places as well, I'm sure, is, just keep swimming. Swim through the moods, the water's emotions. We've got rain, we've got tears, it's all similar. We're made up of water, and we get moisture in the air. So it's just kind of like one of these messages to keep going, connect in and be one with nature, and, feel it, to heal it, as they say, and move along, right? Keep going, keep thriving, keep blooming and growing like these beautiful plants. All right, now we're going to do the Romance Angels deck just for fun. I haven't pulled these out in a while. And so let's see what message you get here. And I know it kind of doesn't go with the sea theme, but something just said to pull this deck out. So your message here is forgiving and learning. And we've got, like a beautiful golden angel or spirits off to the side. And something tragic has happened. Looks like the person at the bottom is asking for forgiveness, really kind of like on the knees begging in forgiveness. But it says, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. And it is true. It's not always easy for us to release, to heal the past. It's not easy at all, actually, for most of us. But what's interesting is that when you look at that word release, it really is, it's got the word ease in it, right? So get to ease when looking at the past. Feel the emotions. The person on the bottom's clearly feeling things. Like I just mentioned, it is that feeling it, really feeling it to heal it. But let it move through you and out of you. Don't let it be trapped in the body to manifest as sickness. Feel it and then release it. And if there's something to ask forgiveness for, okay, fine, do it. You don't have to ask a person directly. You can also just say, God forgive me, or you can close your eyes and imagine the person, especially if they're no longer with us, and you feel like you need to ask for forgiveness. You can connect in with that person's higher self still and their spirit and just say, hey, I really ask you for forgiveness, whatever, right? God forgives us all, very clearly so. And when we, come into that awareness that, oh, wow, I think I feel it, I got to ask for forgiveness, just do it. But don't, like I said, do what you want, but, let it move through you and out of you. And, so you've experienced it, but you're not holding it trapped into your body. Okay, so again, I'm asking with this card, as I asked with group 3, the regular reading, who do you identify with in this scenario? The golden spirit or spirits. This man obviously is being there to hold space and be compassionate, or perhaps this person is asking forgiveness of him, and clearly he's in the space where he's like, of course, right? And so maybe you're somebody somebody is asking forgiveness from. And I think all of us, if you see somebody in this state, of course, we can be the bigger person, the more evolved person, and a compassionate person, and say yes. For some people, if you're having a real hard time forgiving somebody else, when you think of them, that's bitter and toxic for your body if you haven't let it go and released it. So what's helped me, somebody once said to me, which has really helped, you don't have to forgive the actions the person did, but you can forgive the person. And that really did help me in some situations to move through a more tricky situation to forgive. Okay? All right, that's it for your bonus card, Group 1. Thanks. And we're moving on to bonus cards for Group 2. Hi, Group 2. We're going to grab, you've got actually 3 bonus cards instead of 2, because a couple extra jumped out. So I'm going to just do them over here. Pardon the camera work for a minute. So your first card up is Peace, with a dove and a blue rose. And here I'm going to put it over here on Group 1 side. And you also got Time. And I don't know, it doesn't look like an owl or a robin. I'm not quite sure what bird that is. Maybe it is a type of robin. Maybe somebody out there will know. Okay, so we've got a bird perched on a limb, and we've got Peace. So you got 2 birds, double birds. All right, and then, we're going to look at these first, and then you have one more bonus card from the Romance Angels deck, which is different. So let's look back. I want to look back. You had the Knight of Pentacles. Actually, this kind of goes along, because in this case, it looks like the dove is hovering. It might just be a shadow, but it looks like the dove is hovering over a pool of water. That's just what it's reminding me of, and it's reminding me of the classic, whether you go by the Bible or not. Again, I say it's like probably 10% truth, maybe 5% in there. It's been severely manipulated over time, but you can read between the lines of it and pull out the core good messages of it that might still be embedded in there, that might have survived. So in this case, if we look back, what was it in the beginning, with Noah and the boat, that they were trying to, they were dealing with the floodwaters, and then they knew they were close to land because the dove flew by with a twig in its mouth, something like that. Anyway, the dove, the white one especially, represents a lot of things to a lot of people. In this case, the card is telling us it's about peace. And I've mentioned before that blue rose. When you look into the center of a rose, that's one technique of many to get into a nice meditative state. So the blue color is about, very kind of strong, slumber, peaceful vibe on that card. And then the time, we've got a golden circle framing about, with this bird at the center. And this bird looks completely still and at peace. It looks completely centered. And it's like time is at its back. It's not facing it or looking at it. And so it just shows me that you have all the time in the world for whatever you're encountering or dealing with. You can actually freeze time when you get very calm, and especially in a meditative state. You can slow time down, you can speed it up, you can do a lot of things if you practice this in meditation, or just connecting in with yourself and grounding and knowing you can do it. So right now, it's just this little bonus message is, wherever you are, if you think you're up against time, don't worry about it. It's at your back and you have more than enough time. The more you get peaceful, the more you can slow that down if you need to. And then, or you can let time fly like the bird on the right. You, though, can control it by centering in yourself, taking some nice breaths, getting that air into your core and down into the stomach. And just imagine every single cell in your body receiving that oxygen, and so that you can really connect in and be at peace and not worry about time whatsoever. All right, now we're going to look at another bonus card you have from the Romance Angels deck. And I know it doesn't really go with this whole sea theme, but it wanted to be the one that has the bonus deck. I just was pulled to do it, drawn to do it. So we have Wedding for you, Group 2. And I'm going to pan slowly down this card. And he looks like, I don't know, he's just kind of looking straight forward. Maybe he's a little bit frozen or not knowing what to do. And she's kind of looking over like, hey, look over here, right? And maybe he's kind of in shock that he got married, or he doesn't know how to act in public, whatever. Not really showing his emotions too much. And she's kind of just looking for just a little bit of a hint that little facade's going to crack, and he'll look over and show her some emotion back. But anyway, the message here is this situation involves marriage, okay? So in this card, I would just say what I'm getting off of this card, and you may get something different, which is fine, is just kind of look before you leap, okay? So even though it's saying the situation involves marriage, it doesn't say, get married immediately or tomorrow, or 5 years, 10 years, or 1 year. Back to your other little card here, there's no time on it. There's no clock on this thing, right? Love is timeless in the moment of love. It is timeless. You can freeze a moment in time with it. Can feel like forever. Holding those, that feeling of getting married or about to be getting married. And involving marriage can take on a lot of meanings. Sure, it can be a literal marriage, or it can be a marriage or a meeting of the minds in a situation. So look, they're not really looking like they're on the same page emotion-wise. So you might be in the middle of something where, one person or one group is more invested than the other, and one's a little more cold. And, you really want to get into whatever you're doing where there is a meeting of the minds, at least a basic level of understanding. And if that's missing, then this is not the match, for you. And then that means to wait a bit, give yourself a little more time until you can find that match that is correct, that is a meeting of the minds, and you're on the same wavelength and vibe. So that's all I'm getting for right now for this group. And now we're going to move on to number 3. Hi, number 3, we're going to look at your bonus cards, and they're from 2 different decks. We'll look at the first one, and then I'll pull out the second one. So you had, let me just see what, you had the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so you had communication, which is a whale with some little stars and things flying about, and your whale card came out in reverse. But that's okay, because you've got a star predominant here. If we're looking at this more like in an upright position, it looks like you've got, your true north or your north star there to guide you. So you can, because you have that solid, what do I want to say, that energy at your back to guide you, you are set. You always know where you're going. So because you know where true north is at any given time, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, maybe you're terrible with directions and need a GPS out on the road, but the point is that you always have a guiding star if you look up. And because of that, that's your grounding. So your grounding happens to be, instead of earthing in the earth direction, is the upward celestial direction. So once you know you've got that grounding you and has your back, literally, that just means you're free to play, you're free to explore, to swim, and it's a big ocean out there. You don't have to just stay to one little cove go and explore. And since communication is in reverse, it means you don't have to tell people every move of what you're doing. Maybe do some little secret side field trips and fun things that you do just for the sake of play and for the sake of, bringing joy to your life. Especially if you're overworked. Maybe this is a message to, just, take a day off for you. Not just because it's a vacation or you have to go somewhere, if you have to go help somebody. Just take a day for you to be free and play. You don't have to say why. Just say, I have to be out. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'm just saying, if this is you and you've been overworked and you need it just for you, create a day just for you. And then go do something that makes you happy. Maybe it is going to an ocean if you have one nearby. Maybe it is, just taking the time to rest and relax. But this really looks like play. So I think it's just a message too. If you haven't done it in a while, and you feel it's a little lacking in your life, go on a field trip. Go play in the hay. Go play in the sun. Find something that interests you. If you like museums and haven't been in a while, just go off to a museum if there's one nearby. If there's not one in your area, just go off exploring, or just do nothing. Stay kind of idle and just see where the day might take you. All right? Be free. Don't have it scripted, perhaps. It's just another message. If you don't feel like the other one clicked with you, just take a day and just have it unscripted and see what happens. All right, now we are going to look to the Romance Angels deck to see what else comes up message-wise for bonus messages. I know it doesn't go with the sea theme of the Mermaid Tarot, but let's just bring it out anyway. It wanted to come out. So your little bonus card is attraction. We have a woman here stopping to smell the roses, obviously. We've got strong green and pink in this card, which does talk about the heart chakra. And she's in a beautiful gown, just taking a moment and getting lost in it. And it says, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. And it's interesting because we've got the roses popping up, and we have that in the bonus cards for group 2 if you want to look over there. I often talk about what are roses. Sometimes they're a great little resource or tool. If you want to get into some meditative states, you can soft eyes gaze at the center of a rose that's opened, right? And look at the center and just kind of focus on it. So in this case, her eyes are closed and she's just getting lost in that moment. What I want to say is that it doesn't necessarily have to be a moment like they're saying here, that you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. That is partly true. The more you just forget about, say you really want your romance, sometimes the more you forget about it and just really love yourself. Like, this is honoring the self by stopping and taking a moment to appreciate something like a beautiful rose, especially if it has a beautiful scent. So by honoring yourself and fully loving yourself and giving yourself these loving moments, yes, then, you pave the way for a romantic love to come in. Now, don't get so hung up on that, though, if you're really looking for it, because even though that may be the case, as of the bonus cards in group 2, just like those, there is a thing about time and timelessness. And in this case, it would be divine timing, because you can say, well, what's wrong? I love myself. I love the world around me. I've gotten to in a really great place. I've done a lot of healing. I've done a lot of work on me. Why isn't there a romantic relationship? Well, the answer is you haven't done anything wrong. Sometimes other things have to align, and it's just not the right timing yet, and we never want to hear that, myself included. However, that's just, there is a divine timing to it and a pacing to it. So the more you can not worry about it and let it go and just focus on your everyday things around you and things that you're grateful for or appreciate, eventually, if it is what you are seeking is romantic love, it will come in. Now, if you're already in a relationship and you're not seeking romantic love, this might just be what talks about enjoying the moment more fully. It just means that by extra appreciating things like she's doing and just relaxing, letting go of some things, not gripping tightly to anything in your world, just relaxing, whatever, romantic relationship you have at the time, there's maybe room for it to breathe and grow even deeper in different ways, either subtle or more dramatic. Okay, I think subtle based on the mood of this card. All right, well, that's it for now. I hope all of you groups, lovely groups, got something out of this, and at least something inspiring here or there. And in the meantime, I wish you all tremendous peace and love. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.